Kelsey from the KFCM Center. I am here at Champions Gymnastics. We are going to talk to Coach Jason about what you can expect to see at the GK U.S. Classic at the KFCM Center on July 19th and 20th.
All right, so now we're on even bars. It's called uneven bars because, well, the bars are uneven. The high bar is set at both an angle and obviously different height than the low bar. It used to be years ago that the bars were so close together that almost mirrored what the men compete on called parallel bars, and they're two bars shoulder width apart side by side. So now they're on even bars. Gradually over the years they've gotten further and further apart so they can do harder skills, more complicated kind of acrobatics. So right now we have on the two Junior Olympic national qualifiers that competed 2 weekends ago. This is Megan Bingham again. She's doing a half turn, she's going to release, and now a giant skill. So a giant is just a long giant swing that goes up and around the bar. You will see them do that typically with the elites only right before their dismount. So they won't do it within the routine, they'll just do it to get a little bit of speed because current modern day uneven bars is all about connecting your acrobatic elements together, and how many you can string together get you that higher score. It's one of the great things that became of this open-ended code was the fact that they could do several acrobatic skills in a row to get points. It's being rewarded, when in the past they did more easy cookie cutter routines. But they do usually have skills called releases, which they'll show here in a couple minutes. Anywhere between 1,000 to 1,500 athletes competing. She's just kind of warming up and swinging skills there. She did kind of a full pirouette on top of that bar at the end of that giant. So this is Megan again, and she's going to do a skill called a half pirouette. And she's going to do a release move called a Tkachev, where she lifts up above the bar, lets go, and catches it. Then she'll do a clear up handstand, and now she's going to do a skill called a bail hand. That's where you swing and jump to a handstand from the high bar to the low bar. So there's different kinds of releases. She did the single bar release where she flipped and landed and caught the bar, and then she traveled from high to low for another. And then there's her dismount, a double flyaway. So if you fall in elite on any event, like Megan did just there, they take a whole point off. So it's double the deduction you would see in a Junior Olympic routine. They take a point off because they want to make sure that no matter how much difficulty you have added into your routine, that you're basically losing that difficulty and then some for falling on it, because you still get credit for doing it if you fall. And the points are, they have a system called A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I think is the farthest it goes up to. So an A skill is a cartwheel or a back handspring on the beam. A B skill is like a single flip, so they're not doing a whole lot of A's and B's. Most of their skills are C and above, a lot in the E's and F range, but they can go all the way up to an I, and that's how they get a lot of bonus points. Simone Biles has, I believe the Biles itself is rated an H, I believe. A double out half with a half twist is an H. So that's one of the reasons why she's so successful, because she can perform very high difficulty with minimal deduction. So here's Megan trying to get a redemption here and land that double flyaway better. Oh, just a step. So her chest was up when she landed, so less deduction when the chest is up, and then just a little bit of deduction on the step. So in elite, they have one setting they all have to use. It's called FIG. In the Junior Olympic, we believe in athletes of all shapes, sizes, and ages, and so they have allowed us to change the settings. So there's tensions on the bars which allow them to move them in closer, higher, etc. And that changes the size or setting. So we have different athletes that kind of train on different settings. So the kid that was on here before, she was Anna Kaziska. Like I said, she's in college now, so she has a different setting that her college team uses that she's had to adapt to. But usually they're able to kind of adapt and figure it out. But in elite, they'll all be on the same bar setting, same vault setting, same beam setting, same vault. In the Junior Olympic program, all of the athletes have the option to start at 10 or 10.1 in level 10. In level 9, everyone starts at a 10 if they have all their bonus points. But in elite, like I said, you could have a really good event on bars and you could start at a 16 because you have lots of bonus and difficulty. But maybe you're not very strong on beam, and so you have less difficulty, so maybe that routine starts at a 14. And floor, you're pretty good on floor, so 14.5, so it can be anything. The average score that they're all trying to get to is a 15 average on each event. That's how you do well. Now, Simone typically gets anywhere between 15.5 to 16 points. Good job on the handstand. So they will be looking to make sure that they got handstands as they do their skills. So anytime they don't hit handstand, they're getting a deduction. So it might look cool and great as they're zipping back and forth, but if they don't land in a handstand on all their skills, cast to a handstand, they're going to get deducted. If they turn, they have to finish in a handstand, or major deductions will take place. So a lot of times if you're a viewer at home and you see this great routine and they stick the landing, you might not have been paying attention to the handstands to make sure they were locking them out on every skill. So Paula, we saw her earlier, she was warming up that Jaeger. So now hopefully she can try to catch it. She gets a cast handstand, a little short, a little bit of deduction. Her blind there, half turn, she flips, oh, and she peels. So in that case, she would get credit for doing the release, but then she would lose that point off deduction for falling on it. So a Jaeger is probably worth 4/10 in difficulty, and you're losing a whole point for the fall. So you lose that difficulty basically, plus another 5/10. So a fall can be a pretty big deal in today's system. So on bars and beam, like I said, you have 30 seconds to remount, and you pick up where you left off. On floor, you just kind of can get back up and you keep going and pretend like it didn't happen.
Start from the low?
No, you could, but you would incur more of a deduction because they're going to take off for whatever you did. So their coach will pick them back up and get them going again, and they'll pick up where they left off.
Okay.
So here she goes trying again. See if she can catch it. She needed a little bit more height that time. That would have made it easier for her to catch. There we go. So there's her caught Jaeger. Oh, trying to go for that handstand. All right. Because gymnastics is amazing. Never will you see more fearless, dedicated athletes that love to defy gravity. I love gymnastics since I was little. That's why I run Champion now and still flip around myself. It's like Cirque du Soleil on a whole nother level. So no, you don't get the pomp and circumstance, but you get some of the most difficult acrobatics you will ever see on the planet. And most of them will come from Simone.
The 2019 GK U.S. Classic is coming to Louisville at the KFC Center on July 19th and 20th. The GK U.S. Classic features athletes competing on the junior and senior levels and is the last opportunity for female gymnasts to qualify for the U.S. Championships. Gymnasts who have already qualified to nationals use the GK U.S. Classic as a final tune-up for the U.S. Championships. In addition, the GK Hopes Championships, which features young, aspiring female gymnasts, is held the day before the GK U.S. Classic. All session tickets, which include both the GK U.S. Classic and the GK Hope Championship, are on sale now, as well as single session tickets. If you have a group of 10 or more and want to attend, contact Kelsey Hall at khall@kfcyoungcenter.com. See you on July 19th and 20th.